Well, hello friends. Welcome back to my channel. Apparently we are now skating through the month of April. 2020, I tells you, what a year it has been already. We all had an inkling that it was going to kick off with a bang with Saturn and Pluto coming together early January, of course. And it certainly did for me in more than one way. But wow, this energy is ongoing. And then, of course, we've got this crazy COVID-19 virus traveling the world faster than the speed of light, unfortunately. Anyway, all that aside, I just wanted to touch base with you and let you know that I have been thinking of you, and I have, in fact, recorded a number of videos, well, 5 videos for you. I am having ongoing issues still to this day. Even in the videos I recorded for you at the beginning of the year, I was sharing the fact that I seem to be having these incredible issues that even if I tried to self-sabotage, I wouldn't be able to do it that good. Anything to do with uploading, transferring, exporting, or editing videos. And I've used a number of editing suites on my phone. My phone and laptop continue this Mexican standoff. They just don't want to be friends anymore. So I'm wondering if certain updates just aren't syncing up for some reason. I'm going to have to, when this whole virus situation settles down, I'm going to have to go into my local tech store and ask them for some help because I can't seem to fix it. So if this gets to you in all its glory, it'll be a bloody miracle. I may not be able to edit, so hopefully I won't drive you crazy. So instead of battling on with those earlier videos, which is a shame because there were some interesting occurrences, and those videos really were sharing my experiences after the fact. So monthly draw, reflecting on, as most of you do anyway, having a catch up at the end of the month. But I've made this one of my missions, not the, but a main mission for the year of 2020, to really concentrate and expand my horizons regarding the monthly draw. So I'll choose as many decks as I feel the need at that particular time. So every month is different, and combine them as they see fit, but not deciding very logically to combine. I've basically picked up each deck every month saying, okay, I'll leave it to you. You speak to me in your own colourful language. And if you get a little cryptic, well, so be it. So you may want to give me a prediction. You may want to bring something to my attention. You may want to give me a shout out as to what I should be working on and paying particular attention. So it's a little bit of a puzzle at the beginning of the month. I can make my own assessment and assumptions as to how things will unfold, but really enjoying at the end of the month, reflecting on how things did unfold. So that has been my, my main focus, or one of my main focuses. Bit of housekeeping while I'm here, by the way. You'll hear a lot of tweeting in the background. I'm so sorry about that. I have just adopted a dear little budgerigar. He is all white. He's absolutely beautiful, and he's just getting to know his way around. And every time the birds sing outside, he responds, and there's a lot of birds around here. So sorry, it's just there's nowhere I can put him where you won't hear him. But anyway, he will settle down. He's only a baby. I still can't settle on a name. Really, really difficult. He's just so damn cute and angelic. Every name I think of is more kind of feminine, but anyway, we'll see how we go. So I thought maybe I'll just share a couple of cards for each month and just explain to you some of the highlights that came up. Say January as an example. January is normally for me a very gentle month. It is a quiet month, and I actually treasure the month of January because, for 10 years now I have gotten into quite a routine, knowing that tarot and healing and whatever other consults I do are very quiet in the month of January, obviously after the busy season of the year before, and people are either away on vacation, it's summer here, or they're just pulling in their spending. And so rather than worry about it, I enjoy it more than I can say. it's a month where I can almost take that as a vacation for myself. So if any clients ring, I'm here, but if not, I'll take myself swimming, I'll do other self-nurturing practices, enjoy just slowly but surely setting up an altar for the following months, or maybe move a few things around in my home, in my sacred space, set up journals, all that stuff, but without being in a rush. And it's really a beautiful time. Not this year, my friends. Wow. So January was basically an extension of October, November, December madness. And even my muggle job on the side, I practice a little bit of property management. It's very unusual for tenants to move out around that time of year for all those obvious reasons. Who really wants to? But these tenants did have to move, so I had some leaving between Christmas and New Year, and having to find new tenants at that time of year is quite time consuming. So it was, and I found a lovely young couple, but as it turned out, in the early stages of their tenancy, they were very, very demanding. Sweetest couple ever, until they got in the house. Now, we get on like a house on fire, but the first few weeks were quite challenging, and I had to even give them a call, especially the young woman, and have a chat to her, because she didn't seem to understand the situation with, or wasn't willing to work around and be flexible around tradesmen, wanting jobs to be done, but they'll have to come when I'm home because I want to go shopping on Tuesday, that kind of thing. And so having to explain to her that we all have to work together, and that's holiday time for tradies as well. And a lot of tradies take the first 2 or 3 weeks off in January here in Australia. So, it's not the time to be picky and choosy and hard to get on with. And so that was not so much stressful, but it was very, very time consuming. She just didn't seem to get it. And now we've sorted everything out and she's delightful. But interesting, this is one of the cards that I drew. So you can see here we've featured planet Mars and Pluto. Say no more. Look at the colours. Flare. This is the Ten of Wands, of course, from the beautiful Elemental Tarot. And to cut a long story short, there was a flare-up in my world, and it was something that was very unpleasant for me. I was sort of in the firing line for someone who was having a bad day and completely misinterpreted a particular situation, which, of course, for time I won't go into now. But it was really quite physically demanding on me, and I could feel my nervous system feeling very, very upset by it. And this person definitely overreacted to quite a degree. So obviously something pinched a nerve in them. And, sometimes you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time. But it's something that I had to deal with. I think that's why the card actually came up. Not just to say, well, there's going to be a flare-up, but you're going to have to address that. You need to stand up and say something about that. So I did. And it was, that coupled with a few other incidences and the month of January being uncharacteristically busy was really quite exhausting for me. By the end of the month, I was, I'm done. I just want to rest. And funnily enough, come the month of February, I drew the recharge card. Like, you really need to slow down and take a rest. So I wasn't expecting work to be so frantic, and so it kind of hit me from the side. I just wasn't expecting, just such a frantic existence for the month of Jan. There was more, but I won't even go there. So come the month of February, that was another biggie, in that there were a couple of occasions that I'd like to share quickly with you. Considering January was so crazy, I drew these 2 cards from the Enigma Oracle. And I thought, oh my goodness, is this telling me that there's going to be another flare-up? Is this not over yet? Water, 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 water. Is this me needing to protect myself, or is this a responsibility? Someone has to hold that umbrella. Is the storm going to come down on my head? Oh boy. I was a little nervous about that one. Because again, I'm saying to the cards, you speak to me in your language and I'll see how it turns out. And funnily enough, you know what it was? Rain. It was simply rain. Please keep in mind, Australia was on fire for over 6 months. And as much as those amazing fireys worked so hard, what you need is rain, don't you? You need the heavens to open up. And we would get these crazy electrical storms and literally 25 drops of rain. There was thunder and lightning. It was quite a show, but no rain. So the lightning was starting more fires. It just went on and on and on. And they were still burning in February, by the way. And then it began to rain. And just nice, gentle rain, not torrential craziness that just runs across the surface of the very hard, cracked soil by now. Rivers were dry, dams were dry. It was so bad here, folks. Anyway, it began to rain, not just in this area, but many other areas around the country. It was absolutely amazing. And all in all, the rains put the fires out. So that's what it was. And I feel like this is me going, oh my God, I can't believe my eyes. This is spinning me out. And I cried. There's a few droplets there of my tears. I cried tears of joy because I'll show you here. I've been donating to the World Animal Protection Organization for quite some years, and of course it is the world, so the newsletter is dealing with animals all around the world, different situations and circumstances, but this particular one was all about Australia. And to those of you who were good enough to donate, this is what you're doing. This is how you helped. Look at this dear little Joey. Look at him. Poor little guy, but at least he's in very, very good hands. And it's the vets, medical staff across the board, and all those amazing volunteers that are still working to this day. It's not over yet. People are still homeless. You know, whole townships burnt down. You know, it's not over. And now, of course, everyone's focus is on COVID-19. And sadly, I think a lot of people are forgetting, especially here in Australia, that there are people and animals still suffering, and hospitals are still very full, animal hospitals. But this is what happened. So that was amazing. And of course, whilst this whole COVID-19 situation erupted in January, for most of us, of course, we're all going, oh my God, isn't that dreadful? But it's all the way over there in China. But poor local people, it was a terrible situation to see, even if it is just on the media. But we were separate, weren't we? At least it felt that way at the time, certainly for me, being on a big old island way south. As it happened, I commenced my research into meditation teacher training in December. I've been thinking about it for a long time, but in December I really started looking into it. But busy. Same thing in January. Research continued. There's so many things to choose from. Where am I going to go to do this? Is it Australia? Is it elsewhere? But I really committed to making some decisions in the month of January, despite, you know, all the other craziness that was going on. So I did narrow it down to 2 courses, one in India and one in Bali. The one in Bali was to be held in June. So in January, it was still fine to travel from Australia. And then as the month, you know, tied up, like as the month, concluded, sorry, is what I'm saying. I thought, oh, I really do need to look into this a little further before I leave it a deposit. And I think it was about 7-8 days into February, the government website here in Australia was saying, basically, you can go to Bali, just don't participate in any water ceremonies, use your common sense, right? That kind of thing. So I was starting to negotiate further information and details from the organisers of this course, but still feeling a little bit wary. Now, where are my cards for February? Okay, bear with. Okay, folks, I decided to take a quick pause and put some relaxing music on for my little budgerigar because he's so vocal today. Very, very vocal, and it's probably driving you nuts, so hopefully that'll... He does seem to respond to it. It's actually music for birds, believe it or not. Anyway, So when it came to February, and I'm still looking into these things, and as you would remember, beginning of the month, depending on where you lived, but for us, we were still far enough away. There wasn't a huge... It wasn't, the virus wasn't an immediate threat just yet. But of course, we were, as the weeks went on in February, we were becoming more and more aware, but in the beginning, not so. Now, it's funny because one of the cards that I drew was the Nine of Swords. Now, I did experience a little bit of insomnia. Get it out. Insomnia. But this here, oh no, it wasn't about being awake at the middle of the night. I don't mind. I'll just watch something on Netflix or whatever, or read. This actually, I think, was me at the end of the month, because by the very end of February, it was, oh no, I don't think I'm going to get to this course, because they still had the course up, which I thought was a little bizarre. But some Asian countries were still pretty good. I mean, Bali wasn't overrun by the COVID-19 at the time, but it wasn't long after that they did. Everyone, as you know, everyone has basically shut down courses and seminars and all sorts of things. But at that time, I realized at the end of the month, that was, oh my goodness. So it's interesting how the cards told a story, because what I did draw, Earth, School, Life Lessons, Soul Growth, Study and Higher Learning. So I thought, oh, for the month of February, this is perfect. So it's telling me, go ahead. Not only that, sorry, let me grab the book. Why am I so disorganized? I had it marked in the book and I've lost it. I just wanted to read you a couple of lines here. This is the, if I am pronouncing this correctly, it's Yoster. I know there are different schools of thought when it comes to this goddess. But anyway, you can see here the prompt is growth. Now, this is the Goddess Oracle, of course. And in the booklet, it says here, is there a class or workshop that you've been wondering if you should take? You can imagine that this is at the end of January. I drew this for Feb, and I thought, this is it, baby. I am going. Do it now. If there's something you should, you feel you should be doing, if it's study or whatever, do it. Get out there and go for it. Let it in, do it. Yeah. Is there a class or workshop? I just said that. Sorry. Is it time to do things in your life that facilitate growth, development, and evolution? That's what I was looking for. So I thought, well, of course. And it's as if the cards, drew out a storyboard for me. Yeah, that's going to happen. It's going to be about that. But then you're going to strike that, dear. Oh, I'm sorry. The other card that came up that was quite prominent was this. Now, as far as myself, my work, and getting things done, I've got home projects going left, right, and centre here, my friends. And I, in February, was like a bloody powerhouse, I'm proud to say. I made a list. And this is all about getting tradesmen in, getting quotes, making designs, deciding what I'm going to do with certain pieces of furniture. Do I keep it? Do I paint it? Do I sell it? All of the above. A whole lot of, just jobs and projects that have been some on the back burner, some waiting, just like right at the top of the list. But because January was an absolute madhouse, they just had to be pushed aside a little. So I thought, oh, there I am. I am getting things done. But not only that, quite literally, I think this card is my wonderful tiler, young Mick, who came and literally tore my shower apart and retiled these funky 900 square grey concrete look tiles, which I absolutely love. And it was dirty, disruptive, dusty, loud, crazy. And at the very same time, I had a friend ring saying, is it all right if I come and stay with you because I have to attend a course that's just up the road from your house? So I had to juggle that and move my tiler, who very, very kindly was understanding enough to say, yes, I'll leave it a week for you. So I had a friend here. And as she was packing her bags, he arrived. He starts jackhammering in it was crazy in February. But things got done. Things got done. So it wasn't all Nine of Swords. It was very rewarding in many ways. And I thought, well, I'm really onto something here. Despite COVID-19, it's a bit shifty, but at the end of the month, it wasn't recommended. But I can't remember the time frame, to be honest. Did we get the absolute no by the end of February? If not, it was very early March. So this is what I drew for March. I just have to laugh. First of all, the tooth. Now that again, I would say personal growth. What do they say in this is the Enigma Oracle, which I'm growing to love more and more, by the way. I just found it in a shop and bought it willy-nilly, and I love it. I love the artwork also. But the tooth, intelligence, wisdom, growth, independence, but also truth. The tooth means truth. I think also maintenance, because, you know, you have to maintain healthy teeth. Well, as it happens, I was due to ring my dentist and make an appointment for a checkup, and I didn't get around to it because I was just thinking about other things, kept putting it off. Well, now I can't because he's closed. So maybe there's a little cryptic message in that. But speaking of growth, look what I drew. So here's time, and as if we haven't had enough of flames here in Australia, but I felt like, yeah, about that growth, because the course itself, the Meditation Teacher Trainer course, is going to be a huge spike for me as far as self-growth goes. It's a huge boost on my own personal journey of self-awakening. And I just feel like, yeah, that timeline, sorry, darling, it's just going to go up in smoke. Yeah, time will occur when time occurs, or it's going to happen in a timely fashion, but it's not going to occur as you thought. So couldn't go to the dentist, but I just felt also, as far as that personal growth goes that you were referring to last month, and going to school, and I love the fact that it's called Earth School. It's all about learning while we're here on this planet Earth. Yeah, about that. Yeah, sorry. I also drew confirmation, and yeah, it was confirmed that I won't be going. That is for certain during the month of March. I had to laugh. Also, what came up in March was the Ace of Earth from Dreams of Gaia. And really, at the end of the day, I feel that that was talking about the fact that it's time to start. Well, as you know, this can talk about a whole new way of being. It's a whole new project. It can pertain to your career. You're starting afresh, doing something new, which is quite pertinent to my journey. What does it say here in the book that I read? Time to make preparations and plans for the future so that you are not challenged or placed under stress by the changes that are coming. What do you want to do with your life? What career path will allow you to both meet your responsibilities and be fulfilled? That covers so much ground for me at the moment as to where I'm at. That's quite amazing. Very, very apt. Are you more interested in financial reward than seeking a vocation or career that will stimulate you and make you happy? No, I am not. And so I felt like, even as far as decision making goes and planning, it's an invitation to come from a nice, practical, well-grounded, well-rounded position, because I've been very airheady. No wonder the Nine of Swords is there, but just making decisions, make assessments, and because I've got home projects as well, deciding which way you want to go. You hit a roadblock with a particular project, finding a solution, dealing with these tenants who were, you know, battling it out. After dealing with that person whom I've now lost, who decided to flare up, but there was a lot of activity here. It's all focused around the suit of air, very much for me, which is ironic because I'm very low on air in my natal chart. So it can be quite a challenge for me. And this said, you know what? Slow it down. So decisions always need to be made. Assessments are required. However, you can come from a beautiful, earthy position now. And, you know, I'm always using that saying, back to zero. It'll be tattooed on my forehead before long. But I just feel like I'm constantly being dialed back, just to start afresh and give yourself time to do a stock take, so to speak. So, yeah, I think that was very, very apt. And again, it was, March for me was a bit of a hodgepodge of very different experiences, What am I looking for? Also, different requirements of me. There were so many different things going on at once that really didn't necessarily interrelate. So the strange irony is it was far more manageable than January. So, yeah, interesting stuff. So let me think, is there anything else I wanted to confirm with you? January, February, March. I think that's about it because this video is getting long. So, I'm about to sit down. I know I'm a few days late, but I'm about to sit down and draw my cards for April. So I look forward to that, and let's see how things go. So I just want to say before I go, I hope you are well and safe. Please do your very best to lay low, and we're all in slightly different circumstances. We are still able to go for walks, and I don't think our beaches are closed, that you are not encouraged to just sit on the sand and loiter, but if you want to walk on the beach, if you're exercising, that is welcomed. So I feel very, very lucky because I know many people are actually confined to their homes. But I will say for me, it is certainly a choice to stay at home unless I really have to go out. Food and exercise is the only reason I'm leaving home, and I'm enjoying getting my home projects done. I also feel the need, well, I already have, changed just a few things around, a storage shelving system in my little sacred space. Does it surprise you? No, it doesn't. It's an ongoing thing. And I think as long as Pluto is transiting my 4th house of home, this is ongoing. I have to respect Pluto's wishes, and he won't take no for an answer, and I'm quite happy to do that. And the only other thing I'd add is that I'm in a 9 personal year. So as far as, say, you know, my hopes being dashed regarding going to Bali in June for this course, we're all in the same boat. But as a 9 energy participant for me, I have to accept these things and I have to expect them. When it comes to conclusions, completions, things, relationships, ideals, plans, simply dissolving before my eyes. Because in a 9 year, we orchestrate many of them, or we may not. We may even run from them. That's even worse. Not recommended. But of course, others come to us. There are endings and completions that just present themselves to us in a 9 year, and the idea is to deal with them to the best of your ability. Acceptance and remain fluid. So that's, you know, at the forefront. But also what can come with the 9 energy is a lot of nostalgia, and I've certainly been feeling that. Been feeling very sensitive, very nostalgic, and at times that really did trigger profound sadness when I reflect on the past, which is not really my MO. Just I'll play a song and all of a sudden I'll see myself back in London and all my friends there, and just feeling, you know, when you can sit down and just reminisce and enjoy, or you can fall into that almost painful nostalgia where you think, oh my God, I miss those days. I miss my friends. What happened to my friends in London? We've all gone our separate ways. Many people changed their names, you know, through marriage, etc. I'd love to find them again. Thinking about friends of mine who've passed away. Just all of a sudden, I will be just enveloped with this wave of nostalgia. And at times that was kind of, it got me into a bit of a funk. So that was a challenge that has been just like a wave on the seashore, just coming in every now and then. There'll be high tide, low tide, and I have to expect that those feelings of nostalgia, I have to expect to experience them in a 9 year, because that's part of the deal. It's not the only deal, but that is a part of it. Feeling lost, feeling uncertain, should I or shouldn't I, or where is it that I want to settle, or what is it that I want to do? That's very, to me, 9 is like a combination of Sagittarius and Pisces. So a lot of searching, and it's like the universal mind is really accentuated in a 9 year, which is fascinating and amazing and exciting, but it can be quite challenging also. So I'm a little dreamy at times, and I think at times also just a little bit vague because of that 9 energy, just not seeing clearly. Yet last month I was like a well-oiled machine. But that's what I mean. It's like a wave. It just comes and it goes. So That's just the way it is for me. So I'm going to go now, and thank you so very much for joining me. I hope this crazy chit-chat makes sense. And I'll be uploading another video soon. I just acquired 3 decks, and I'd really like to share them with you. So I'll be back sooner rather than later. Fingers crossed. Did I tell you during Mercury retrograde, I also lost, to add to the excitement, my whole music library that was digitized by a very dear friend of mine who was kind and crazy enough to do it. 105 gigs of music, my personal favorites, gone. All genres. It was uploaded onto 3 hard drives. One is now corrupt and the other 2 are just empty. There's the 9-year. Bye-bye music. Anyway, would you believe, as it happened, I was so busy, I didn't get around to moving all those CDs on. So at least I still have them, but it means having to do them all again or just forget the whole thing. There you have it. That's my my relationship with Mercury and his cronies at the moment. They're just giving me a really hard time. Anyway, all the very best. Take care, and great to see you all. And please take care. Look after your health. See you soon. Bye for now.